Yo, what's up, people? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? This is Tireo, and I am back, y'all, with another video and also another eye-opening message. And in this message, I'm going to be talking about rolling with the ordained person that God have for you. When you are rolling with the ordained person that God have for you, you will become a blessed person. You will become a blessed somebody because you are connected to the ordained person that God have put in your path. Now, understand this, man. Understand this. This goes for friendships and this goes for relationships. It goes for both. Okay? And also, it even goes for family members. Because you got to understand this. Just because someone is your auntie, your cousin, your brother, or your sister by blood, that still does not mean that they are ordained by God to be in your life. You gotta understand that. Okay? I'm gonna repeat that. Hear me again. Just because someone is your brother or sister or cousin or auntie, that does not mean that they are ordained by God to be in your life. That does not mean that. Just because that's your blood sister or your blood brother or your cousin or your uncle or auntie, that still does not mean that God ordained them to be in your life. Because you got to understand it's about God. If that was the truth, then God would have never told people in the Bible to get away from their friends, from their families, from their brothers, and from their sisters. See what I'm saying? A lot of people who follow God in the Bible, they had brothers, they had sisters, they had cousins, but those people was not ordained to be in their lives and roll with them. You gotta understand that. So, in this message, man, I want to open up you people's eyes to how serious this is, because this is another reason why so many of you people will never be able to be fully blessed by God. You will never be able to have a deep relationship with God. And you will never be able to have real favor on your life. One of the reasons why is because you are not around the ordained people that God have placed in your life. You're not around them. You gotta be connected to the ordained person that God have for you. You gotta be connected to the ordained friend. It can't just be some silly friendship that you are trying to make work. That friendship have to be ordained by God, man. That marriage, that relationship, that stuff have to be ordained by God. If it's not ordained by God, you will never be a favored and blessed person. You gotta understand this, man. You gotta understand this, man. Seriously. I'm gonna repeat it one more time before I go deep into this message. If it's not ordained by God, if the friendship is not ordained by God, and if the relationship is not ordained by God, you are going to find yourself unhappy, miserable, depressed, and stressed the hell out. And you're going to find yourself hurting because it's not ordained by God. And guess what? And guess what else? God will even close doors for you in your life. Doors will begin to shut and doors will begin to close because you are in friendships that God didn't ordain, and you are even in relationships that God didn't ordain, and you are even in marriages that God didn't ordain. And here it is. If you are not in God's ordained prophecy for your life, doors will begin to shut and close, man. Don't matter. It's not about how many friends you have. God does not care about how many friends you have. It's not about how many friends you have. It's about, is that friendship ordained by God? It don't matter if that dude is a cool guy, if that girl is a cool guy. The question is the friendship ordained by God? That's what this stuff is about. Is your friendships ordained by God? That guy you know, that girl you know, is your friendships ordained by God? That's what this stuff is about, man. Here's another one. Here it is. And you got to understand this. It don't matter if the guy treats you good. It don't matter if the girl is nice. It don't matter if the girl is pretty. It don't matter if the girl is fine. It don't even matter if she had your child or not. It don't even matter how good her sex is. Here it is. Is the relationship ordained by God? It don't matter if you knew him or you knew her since y'all was in high school. God don't give a damn about that. You think God is really worrying about just because you knew him in high school or just because you knew her in high school? You think God care about that? God does not care if you knew him or you knew her in high school. And here it is. God does not care that you got pregnant by him. God don't care about that. Oh, I got pregnant by him, so I'm going to be with him. You think God care about that? Just because you had his baby, that don't mean nothing to God. Oh, just because I got pregnant by him, I'm going to be with him. Or just because she is my baby mama, I'm going to be with her and marry her. You're going to mess your life up. And some of you have already messed your lives up. Here it is. Is the relationship ordained by God? That's what this stuff is about, man. That's what this stuff is about. Is it ordained by God? Now, a lot of you people who are already married, nobody cares about how long you've been married. And I want to say this right quick, y'all, because you people have been following false doctrines of people being married for 20-something years. Oh, man, they've been married for 20-something years. Who cares? Who cares? Like, for real, I don't care. You think God is worrying about who been married for the longest? Be honest. Do you really believe that God is in heaven worrying about how long people are staying married down here? God does not care about how long someone stayed married. God cares about, is the marriage ordained by him? I don't care if you've been married to that person for 40 freaking years. Who cares? Was your marriage ordained by God? That's what this stuff is about, man. That's what this stuff is about. People, stop following the world. Oh, they've been married for 20-something years, and then everybody just claps. Oh, they've been married for 40-something years, and everybody just claps. That stuff does not mean anything. It don't mean crap. It's all about, is the marriage ordained by God? That's what this stuff is about, man. Was it ordained by God the Father? See, when you start asking people them kind of questions, if you notice, they can't answer them. They can't answer them. I don't care how good the woman treats you. I don't even care if she is changing for the Lord. I don't even care if that man is giving his life to the Lord. I don't even care. I don't even care. And see, this is how folk get deceived. Oh, my husband is changing. He's becoming a better person. Who cares? Is it ordained by God? Oh, my wife is becoming a better person. She's changing. Who cares? Is it ordained by God? Oh, me and my friend hung out last night. Who cares? Is the friendship ordained by God? Oh, that's my family. I'm going over there. I'm going to holler at my brother. I'm going to holler at my sister. I'm going to hang with my cousin. Who cares? Is it ordained by God for you to hang around them folks? That's what this stuff is about. And see, this is why the majority of you people will never be able to go higher in Christ, because you're not even ready for this kind of message. You can't handle this because this is too much truth for you. So guess what? You will never be able to go higher in God. And guess what? Doors will never be able to open for you like you really want them to, because you're not ready for this. See, you still have a problem of doing you. And you're trying to fix it instead of you just following the ordained path that God has for you. God does not care about how long you've been married to somebody. God does not care about if your husband or wife is changing. God does not care about if that friend is treating you right. God does not care if that's your cousin or your uncle or your brother or your sister. God don't care. It's all about, is it ordained by God? It gotta be ordained. And if it's not ordained, you're just wasting your time. That's the truth. If it's not ordained, you are just wasting your time. Now watch this. Here we go. Let's get to the Bible, man. I want to show you people some scriptures right quick. Go to the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 4. The book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 4. I want to show you something right quick about these people in the Bible because they were smart. Watch this. The book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 4. I'm talking about Abraham and Lot. Watch this. The book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 4. It says, so Abram departed as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. Watch this. The book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 4 says that Abraham departed as the Lord spoke to him, and Lot went with him. Watch this. Why did Lot follow him, Tireo? Why did Lot follow Abraham? You want to know why Lot followed Abraham? Because Lot already knew that's my ordained buddy right there. That's my ordained buddy. I got to roll with Abraham, man. That's my ordained buddy. I got to roll with Abraham. That's why Lot went with him. Because Lot was not stupid. Because Lot already knew Abraham is blessed. Abraham is favored. And I'm ordained to be around Abraham. So I'm rolling with him. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? That's why Lot got blessed and Lot got spared. Now, if you notice, God killed Lot's wife, but God didn't kill Lot. You want to know why God didn't kill Lot? Because Lot was connected to his ordained friend. Lot and Abraham, man, they was ordained to roll together. And that's why Lot went with Abraham, because Lot knew I'm ordained to be around Abraham. I got to roll with Abraham. I'm ordained. It's right here in Genesis chapter 12, verse 4. It says that Abraham departed and Lot went with him. Lot was smart because Lot already knew if I roll with Abraham, I'm going to get the favor. I'm going to get the blessings. I'm ordained to be around Abraham. See what I'm saying? This stuff is so real, man. And watch this. I want to show you another one right here. Go to the book of 2 Kings. The book of 2 Kings, man. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 2. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 2. Again, the book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 2. It says, then Elijah said to Elisha, stay here, please, for the Lord has sent me on to Bethel. But Elisha said, as the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you. Look at 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 2. This dude told Elijah, as the Lord lives and as my soul lives, I'm not going to leave you. Why did Elisha tell his friend Elijah that? Why did he tell Elijah that? You want to know why? Because he knew that he was ordained to be around Elijah. And that's why Elisha got so blessed, man, because he was rolling with the ordained person that God had in his life. You folks better wake up and start studying his Bible with an open eye. That's why Elisha was so blessed and favored by God, because he was rolling with the ordained friend that God put in his life. Look at it. It's in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 2. This dude said, as the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you. He's saying, I'm not going to leave you, bruh, because I'm ordained to be around you, bruh. We ordained to be friends. We ordained to be buddies. God ordained this stuff. And that's why Elisha was so blessed, because he was connected to the ordained person that God had in his life. Some powerful stuff, man. This is some powerful stuff. But this is the truth, man. And see, you got to understand this, man. This is why Joshua was so blessed, because Joshua was rolling with Moses, and Moses was his ordained friend. That stuff was ordained by God. That's why Joshua was so blessed. You got to understand, Joshua could have hung with anybody. Remember, Joshua could have hung with anybody, but he decided to roll with Moses because he knew that was the ordained person that God had in his path, man. That's why Joshua got blessed. And see, for a lot of you folks, you ain't gonna never get favored and blessed. You ain't gonna never get favored and blessed because you don't want to be around the ordained people that God said. Because you too busy worrying about, that's my wife, that's my husband, I had children by her, that's my friend, I knew her since high school, I knew him since high school. God don't give a damn about that, you dummy. God is trying to get you some blessings. And in order for you to get them blessings and get them doors open for your life, you gotta be around the ordained people. That's the only way this gonna work. I'm telling you folks the truth, man. This ain't a game. This is serious. You gotta be around the ordained people. If not, you can hang it up. You can hang it up because you went down your own path. Because you too busy worrying about how long you've been married to him. You too busy worrying about, that's my husband, that's my wife. You too busy worrying about, that's my cousin, I gotta hang with her. That's my brother, I gotta hang with him, man. That's my sister, I gotta roll with her. Okay, well guess what? Keep thinking that way. You want to know why? Because God is going to take all your blessings and he's going to give it to somebody else who's stepping out on faith and who is rolling with the people that God ordained for them. That's the truth, man. That's the truth. A lot of you folks, man, be wanting folk to pray for you, but I'm going to be honest. What's the use of praying for you if you don't want to even be around the people that God ordained for you to be around? Your prayers are a waste of time, man. It's for nothing, because at the end of the day, you still got to be around the ordained folks that God have for your life, man. Seriously, stop looking at this stuff the way you want to look at it, because it ain't going to work that way. Well, Tireo, that's my wife, man. That's my husband. They're changing. God don't care about that. Is it ordained by God? That's what's most important. It don't matter if she had your child. It don't matter if you knew him or her since high school. God don't give a damn about that. Oh, I've been married to this man for 40 years. Who cares? Who cares if you've been married to them for 100 years? Who cares, man? It's all about the ordained prophecy over your life. And see, y'all have been deceived, sitting there clapping your hands and following stuff like, oh, they've been married for 45 years. Wow. I don't be shocked about that kind of stuff. You want to know why? Because if I ask them the question, well, I understand you've been married for 47 years, but was the marriage ordained by God? I guarantee you they wouldn't even be able to answer it. They'll sit there and look at me like I'm crazy. You want to know why? Because being around the ordained person, it don't come easy. That's harder. See, anybody can get married. Anybody can get into a relationship. Anybody can get into a friendship. Anybody can stay married for a few years. Guess what? Anybody can stay married for 30 years, 40 years. People do it all the time. But watch this. Was it ordained by God? That's what you need to be asking right there. Was it ordained by God? Well, she treats me good. Is it ordained by God? He treats me good. Is it ordained by God? I had his child. Is it ordained by God? You see, and guess what? If it's not ordained by God, you can hang up trying to have favor over your life, and you can hang up calling yourself a blessed person. Please, come on, man. This is the truth. I showed you the scriptures where people was rolling with the ordained people for their life, and they got blessed by it, man. I showed you that stuff. Lot was smart. Lot rolled with Abraham. He was smart. Elisha was smart. He rolled with Elijah because they knew that stuff was ordained by the Father. That's right, man. This is the truth. And I'm going to be honest. Look at a brother like Peter. Look at the Apostle Paul. Look at Mary Magdalene. Them people were smart because they already knew I got to roll with the ordained people that God had in my life. Remember, Mary Magdalene was around all the men. She was around all of them. But when she met Jesus, she rolled with him because that was the ordained man that she had to roll with. Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, meaning she was in relationships with all kind of men. But when she met Christ, she rolled with him. Why? Because Mary Magdalene knew, I'm ordained to roll with Jesus. And watch this. And when she rolled with the ordained person for her life, she was blessed beyond measure. That's the truth. And that's what this message is about. You got to roll with the people that God ordained. Because if not, you're just following your own path and you are deceived by the devil and you will never have true happiness. Never. Never, man. Never. I'm telling you folks the truth, man. You got to roll with the ordained person, man. You have to. You have to, man. If not, stay looking like a dummy then. I'm keeping it real with y'all. Stay looking like a fool. So with all of that being said, y'all, I gotta be out, man. Peace.